5 seconds to go. Start. I rise to inform the House of momentous developments that have taken place while we were in recess. On May 11, 1998, India successfully carried out three underground nuclear tests. Two more underground tests on May 13, 1998 completed the planned series of tests. I would like this House to join me in paying fulsome tribute to our scientists, engineers, and defense personnel whose singular achievements have given us a renewed sense of national pride and self confidence. In addition to the statement I now make, I have also taken the opportunity to submit to the House a paper entitled Evolution of India's Nuclear Policy. In 1947, when India emerged as a free country to take its rightful place in the Committee of Nations, the nuclear age had already dawned. Our leaders then took the crucial decision to opt for self reliance and freedom of thought and action. We rejected the Cold War paradigm and chose the more difficult path of non alignment. Our leaders also realized that a nuclear weapon free world would enhance not only India's security but also the security of all nations. That is why disarmament was and continues to be a major plank in our foreign policy. During the 50s, India took the lead in calling for an end to all nuclear weapon testing. Addressing the Lok Sabha on April 2, 1954, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, to whose memory we pay homage today, stated, nuclear, chemical, and biological energy and power should not be used to forge weapons of mass destruction. He called for negotiations for prohibition and elimination of nuclear weapons and, in the interim, a standstill agreement to halt nuclear testing. This call was not heeded. In 1965, along with a small group of non aligned countries, India put forward the idea of an international non proliferation agreement under which the nuclear weapons states would agree to give up their arsenals provided other countries refrained from developing or acquiring such weapons. This balance of rights and obligations was not accepted. In the 60s, our security concerns deepened. The country sought security guarantees, but the countries we turned to were unable to extend to us. As a result, we made it clear that we shall not sign that now. The Lok Sabha debated the issue. Prime Minister late Srimati Indira Gandhi assured the House that we shall be guided entirely by our self enlightenment and the considerations of national security. This was a turning point, and this House strengthened the decision of the then government by reflecting a national consensus. Our decision not to sign the NPT was in keeping with our basic objectives. In 1974, we demonstrated our nuclear capability. Successive governments thereafter have taken all necessary steps in keeping with that resolve and national will to safeguard India's nuclear option. This was the primary reason behind the 1996 decision for not signing the CTBT a decision that also enjoyed consensus of this House. The decades of the 80s and 90s had meanwhile witnessed the gradual deterioration of our security environment as a result of nuclear and missile proliferation. In our neighborhood, nuclear weapons had increased and more sophisticated delivery systems inducted. In addition, India has also been the victim of externally aided and abetted terrorism, militancy, and clandestine war. At a global level, we see no evidence on the part of the nuclear weapon states to take decisive and irreversible steps in moving towards a nuclear weapon free world. Instead, we have seen that the NPT has been extended indefinitely and unconditionally, perpetuating the existence of nuclear weapons in the hands of the five countries. Under such circumstances, the government was faced with a difficult decision. The touchstone that has guided us in making the correct choice clear was national security. These tests are a continuation of the policies set into motion that put this country on the path of self reliance and independence of thought and action. India is now a nuclear weapon state. This is a reality that cannot be denied. It is not a conferment that we seek, nor is it a status for others to grant. It is an endowment to the nation by our scientists and engineers. It is India's due, the right of one sixth of humankind. Our strengthened capability adds to our sense of responsibility. We do not intend to use these weapons for aggression or for mounting threats against any country. These are weapons of self defense to ensure that India is not subjected to nuclear threats or coercion. We do not intend to engage in an arms race. We had taken a number of initiatives in the past. We regret that these proposals did not receive a positive response from other nuclear weapon states. In fact, that had led to our current testing program as such. Stop.